In today's world, the most powerful wars are no longer fought with weapons and soldiers. One of the most intense economic wars in modern history began quietly, but it shook the global markets to their core. A war between two giants, the United States of America and the People's Republic of China. But this wasn't a war of missiles, it was a trade war. A war fought with taxes, tariffs, supply chains, and economic pressure. A war that raised prices, shifted factories, and affected millions of workers around the globe. It all started in 2018. That year, US President Donald Trump accused China of practicing unfair trade. He claimed China was stealing American intellectual property, forcing foreign companies to hand over technology in exchange for access to the Chinese market, and flooding the global market with cheap goods that undercut local industries. The US responded quickly. It imposed massive tariffs on hundreds of Chinese products, from smartphones to metals to household appliances. Suddenly, any product made in China became more expensive in the US. American consumers started feeling the price difference, and companies began to rethink their strategies. But China didn't stay silent. It fired back with its own tariffs on US goods, especially agricultural products like soybeans, automobiles, and microchips. American farmers were hit hard, losing access to the massive Chinese market, and some US businesses began suffering from lower profits and lost deals. Over time, the war escalated. By 2020, hundreds of billions of dollars in goods were being taxed. Companies started moving production out of China to avoid tariffs, and consumers in both countries began feeling the pressure. Then came COVID-19, a global pandemic that exposed the fragility of international supply chains, slowed down economies everywhere, and forced governments to rethink their deep dependence on Chinese manufacturing. Even after the pandemic, the trade war didn't officially end. But after 2022, the tone softened slightly. Some tariffs stayed in place, some were reduced, and many companies began shifting to new manufacturing hubs: India, Vietnam, Mexico. Now, in 2025, the war takes another turn. The United States recently announced a reduction in tariffs on certain Chinese products, from 145% down to 80%. Why? Because the damage didn't just hit China, it also hit the American economy, and the average US consumer who's paying more at every store. But does that mean the war is over? Not exactly. Some believe the trade war has simply evolved into a smarter, quieter form. The real competition now is over technology, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and green energy. In short, this war isn't just about numbers or customs offices. It's a battle for influence, power, and the future itself. And in today's world, not all wars are fought with bullets. Some are fought with spreadsheets, taxes, and silent pressure that changes the world.